What's up, everybody? It's the American Pikey here. Welcome to my channel. It's pretty early in the morning. It's about 6:45 in the morning. It's going to be a rainy day, so I don't really have much going on with work today, and I decided to start this channel up. If you can tell, I'm actually sitting in a camper here. I am in the process of moving from my house to a camper. There seems to be a bunch of people doing that. My job has me traveling around the country a bit. So for me, being single, no kids, it made sense to just buy a camper and get rid of my house and hit the road. But I'm making this channel for a few reasons. One, because I'm going to be traveling. I like doing different hikes and seeing different things that this great country has to offer. And two, I'm trying to kind of rethink the way we live in the 21st century. It's a crazy world out there. And the things we have access to now in 2020 are far different than the things we had access to in even the year 2000. So I think as a society we need to start rethinking how we live as individuals, as communities, etc. And so for me, the one thing that really stood out that I thought, hey, I need to start making a change in is, as society, we're considered consumers. We've always been considered consumers for my whole life. And that's the problem. If we're consuming, then we're not producing. And as an individual, as humans, we should want to be productive. We shouldn't want to be consumers. And if we have a world of billions of consumers, then we're not going to progress and move forward as the human race. Like, we need to be producers. So in order to do that, I started looking at the different things and started looking at really my home economy and my home economics and how those things work, and how I can kind of change it so that I'm not a consumer all the time. I'm actually a producer of different things. Maybe some people produce food. I'm going to try and produce some food. I'm going to be on the road, so that's not really going to be easy. I'm going to produce content, which could be entertainment, which could be education. I'm a solar installer and technician, so the service I provide to people is I'm able to install electric into their house that'll provide power for years to come. So I want to be a producer. I want to be not a consumer. I don't want to have tons of debt where I have things but I don't own them. Someone else has the piece of paper that says they own them, like my house. You know, I live in my house, but it's not mine. I still owe money on it, so the bank owns the title to the house, and that's not mine. So that just makes me a consumer of someone else's property right now. And, you know, sometimes you pay it off in 20 years and it's yours, or eventually most people end up selling them and moving on like I'm doing right now, and maybe you get a little something out of it. Hopefully you end up with something out of it. But that's really kind of a liability. That's the same as paying rent, and with the hopes that you get something out of it. And then at the end, you think about all that you have to put into it, and you wonder if you're really getting something out of it. So as a result, I'm in the process of renovating my house. I'm in the process of moving into my camper. I have 2 dogs and a kitten. All 3 of them are in the house still. They got to go to the vet. They're going to get cleaned, get their nails trimmed, everything else, before I bring them into the camper. My camper right now is set up in my backyard, and I travel a couple hours away, and when I'm out there for a few days, I'll bring the camper with me, and I set up camp and go from there. I'll probably be out in Denver within the next month or two, and I'll record that. But overall, I just want to record kind of my life and how I'm trying to do things differently, how I'm trying to be a producer. And we'll talk about the different areas of home economics that I think exist. And we'll talk about traveling. And we'll talk about just different hikes and camping. I'll talk about living in a camper, what I have to boondock. As you can see, I got my Hodge Twins shirt on here. Yeah. And so I'll probably be talking about some politics and stuff too. I agree with the Hodge Twins and a lot of these guys on a lot of things, but I don't agree with them on everything. And so I think I present a different argument than a lot of people are making out there. So that's it. It's going to kind of just be life in 2020 going into 2021 and living in the 21st century and trying to rethink the way we do things. There's a lot of things that we do that are old school and traditional and just are that way because they've been that way, and they don't need to be that way anymore. So hopefully you guys stick around. We're going to have lots more videos to come. I'll talk about the camper. I'll talk about how I set up all my stuff in here, my laptop, my network, you know, all that stuff. I'll talk about what I do for a living some, and we'll have a whole bunch of different videos. So stick around, and see you around. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you know about the next video I make.